To keep score, keep an official book for a middle school volleyball match. So in front of you, you should have your score pad, and the first thing we need to do is write the team name or the opponent on it. So go ahead and write Faribault on the left hand side, and our opponent today is going to be Owatonna. Our captains have already gone ahead and they've done the coin toss. Faribault has won the coin flip, and we have elected to serve first. So you're going to go over to the first serve box there and just put an X. Both teams' coaches have submitted their lineup. So under set 1 on the far left-hand side of the page, in this first box, you're just going to go ahead and write each player's number down, and this will be the order in which they serve. So for Faribault, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 in that order. And then we're going to go over to Owatonna's lineup, and their first server will be number 2, followed by 8, 12, 14, 10, and 6. And not every coach has to turn a lineup in, so sometimes we'll just have to look on the court to see, because they're serve receiving, who is in the right front position, and then we know once they earn the ball back and they serve that the person in the right front position will be their first server. So Faribault has served first. We're going to put a little dot in that box to indicate where we are in the rotation. So she goes ahead, she serves the ball over. Owatonna is not able to return the serve. Faribault gets a point. So you'll put a 1 to indicate 1 point. In the next box, because she's still serving, we're going to put another dot so we don't lose track of where we're at. She serves again, another successful serve for a second point. She's still serving. Unfortunately, she served the ball into the net. That tells us as coaches that she missed, so we're going to put a capital M. It's the end of her serve, so we're going to put a vertical line in that same box. And then we're going to go over to the Owatonna side because it's rally scoring. Owatonna, we gave them their first point. So therefore we do not put a dot in that box. Because this is her first serve, we'll put a dot up there. She successfully got the ball over the net. Faribault could not return it. She earned point number 2 for Owatonna. So number 2 for Owatonna is going to serve again. It was a successful serve and Faribault didn't touch the ball. Therefore, it's considered an ace serve. So in that box, you would indicate the point and a capital A. So she scored the third point for an ace. She served the ball again. She served it successfully to Faribault. Faribault was able to return it and put it down on Owatonna's side. Therefore, it's a side out for hers. And then we're also going to show that it's the end of her service. And Faribault earned that point. So you just put the number 3 in player number 2 box there. A dot indicates that we're going to serve. It was a successful serve for point number 4. All right, so number 2 for Faribault is still serving, so we put another dot so we know where we are. She has another successful serve for point number 5. She gets to serve again. Another successful serve. Point number 6. And at this point, Owatonna coach realizes that we need to stop Faribault's momentum because we still have the service. They are going to call a timeout. The X represents opponent. T for the timeout. So this dot actually carries over because she doesn't lose her serve. So when I look at the book, it tells me Owatonna took a timeout. And up here, we're going to indicate that the score, because these are for timeouts now, the score is 6-2. So at the end of the timeout, Faribault's still serving. It was a very wise decision that coach made. Just kidding, Coach Onstead caught that error. The score is actually 6-3. Just seeing if you're paying attention, girls. So by that coach taking that timeout, our server actually lost her focus and she served into the net. So we're going to put another capital M for missed serve. It's the end of her service rotation, and it's a free point for Owatonna, so we put a 4. So number 8 for Owatonna is now serving. She's not a very strong server. She also missed, giving Faribault a free point, which happens to be our 7th point. Always remember to put a dot in the box so that you know where you are. She had a great successful serve, and it happened to be for an ace. So we put the point in a capital A, indicating she's serving again. And let's see, she's on a roll. She served the 9th point, the 10th point, the 11th point, and the 12th point. And on the next serve, it was a really long rally. Unfortunately, it was a side out. So put that horizontal line in the box, and then a vertical line. Side out means Faribault loses the ball, giving Owatonna a free point. And then this girl serves. So just for game's sake, we're going to pretend that she is actually serving for game point. So the score might be, just to speed up the scorebook process, the score might be 24-21. So she served their 24th point. If she serves her 24th point or 25th point, the game is over. We always circle it, and then we come down here where it says final score, and Owatonna had 25 and Faribault had 12. And you don't really need to keep track of the running score here. You certainly can, but it's not necessary. But this is what I really look for, the final score. And then we would go into our second set. Typically teams switch sides. Not always, but if we did, we would put Owatonna over here and Faribault there. Because Faribault had first serve, we know that Owatonna starts serving for the second set. And there you have it. Is what to do if there's a substitution. So if the substitution is made, you're going to put an S in the box, and then maybe number 8 is going in for number 4. So by putting this S, you're indicating that, so as coaches we know, and as scorekeepers, you know that number 8 is now in to serve for number 4, and everything else stays the same. If by chance a coach decides to re-enter a player, again you would indicate S for substitution, just like our key shows us here, and number 4 is going to go back in, and we know that just because of the capital S that you've put in the box. Number 4 is going back in for number 8.